Testing.
Hi, my name is Louise.
And hi, I'm Emma. It's recording.
Is it recording?
Just press record.
Well, no, I'm ready.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Louise.
And hi, I'm Emma.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Louise.
And hi, I'm Emma.
And you're listening to Murder or Myth,
the true crime podcast where not everything is true.
The aim of the game is to find out whether the story is actually a murder or if it's just a myth.
Now, let's get started.
Hi, Emma.
Hi, Louise.
How are you?
All good, all good.
Episode 51.
This is crazy.
So close. My end of a year. This is my last story.
Your end of the year.
For the year.
But didn't I know we are 51, but didn't I start the first episode? Or no?
Yes.
Yeah, so how did we end up like this? Oh, Halloween, maybe.
But that would have been ages after. I think this connection got in pretty fast. Because I remember I was for sure 6 or 5. I was 5.
Oh.
I think. Because I think we just did a new recording. I don't think we followed. Oh, I know what happened.
We lost one
So we did
episode.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Mm-hmm.
I was 2 and 4. But then 2 was lost.
Oh.
So then we went to do 5. I said, I guess it's me next because you've done 2, I've done 1.
Oh, okay. We changed
And
it
we
up really
switched it
quickly.
over. And then we obviously were like, let's never
The rest
get
is
rid of
history.
that. We can't lose our scheduling.
And now we're a week out from a
51.
year. And that's crazy.
Super crazy.
Well done. Congratulations on
Yeah,
getting this far.
congratulations to you too. I feel like that's a pretty cool achievement. Like, yeah, I had a podcast for a year.
Wow. Let's throw ourselves a party.
Agreed. Let's get to a year first.
Okay.
So for episode 51, I will be telling Emma the story of serial killer.
Killer.
No, it's
Was he a rapper?
It's gotten too late in the night. I can feel it happening. It's only half done.
Yeah. It feels so a lot
Not
later.
gotten too late in the night, but I've been up for 12 hours, so I feel like that's late.
I was going to say, up
Yeah.
early.
Yeah.
9:30, whoa.
We work hard. Okay, so for episode 51, I will be telling Emma the story of serial killer Bertha Gifford. So this story is set in the early 1900s in rural Missouri. Gifford married Henry Graham, and the pair had one daughter, Lila. After the death of her husband Henry, Bertha married Eugene Gifford and had another child, a son, James. So she was living with her husband and her 2 kids on their farm in Catawissa, Missouri. And Gifford was said to have quite a neighbourly nature to her. She was known to be very good at cooking and taking care of people when they were unwell.
Okay.
However, after 5 people in quick succession died in her care, there were suspicions raised.
How to do it?
Yeah, so Gifford was not a trained nurse, but had skills in, basic recording temperatures, understanding symptoms, drugs, and the local doctor had never disputed her taking care of, patients who
He knew it.
he had seen, but, just needed a bit of extra minding.
Okay.
However, in 1928, Chief McDonnell arrived to her home, where Bertha was said to have answered the door and asked to go freshen up. She powdered her face before she was arrested and brought to Franklin County Jail. There was a post-mortem performed on 3 of the people who had passed in her care, Edward Brinley, Elmer Scammell and Lloyd Scammell, and all 3 bodies were found to contain large amounts of arsenic. She had been purchasing arsenic regularly at their local store, but had said it was for killing rats in their farmhouse.
I'm just thinking, what store is just selling arsenic? But again, it's the 19th century.
Yeah, and it's also for farms and things.
Okay.
Rat poison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not just labelled arsenic.
Yeah, pretty much. Although, you're about to see, although she had admitted guilt, Bertha was put on trial for the murders, and she admitted guilt to the 3 murders, and said that they were extremely sick, in severe pain, and the arsenic would, quote, quiet them. So although she had admitted guilt, the court ultimately ruled her case not guilty by reason of insanity. She was committed to a Missouri State Hospital, where she remained until she died in 1951, 23 years later, aged 79. And it was said that she'd become a cook for the hospital during her time there. So she had been a nurse to many of her sick neighbours, and a total of 17 people died in her care. But it was unknown if All of these were murder cases, or like if natural causes had contributed. It wasn't until the court ruling was finished that locals began to grow suspicious of the other 12 deaths, but they were never investigated further. It was mostly children who had passed in her care, but it was common in those times to use small doses of arsenic for medical reasons. So all of her work may not have been on purpose, like that you would have had different dosing in adults and children. Mm-hmm. That
just
she mightn't have calculated correctly. But it was also believed that children were easier targets as they would take whatever medication she would prescribe them, and she took advantage of that. And that's the end of my story.
Okay, wow. So this is like an angel of death almost case.
It's similar, but she's not trained. She's really just either a kind person, or I guess you could say like a kind person, like taking them in her care, but like
okay.
If she thought she was doing good.
Yeah. So that, like, once again, I'm like, that's a murder story. That's like sound, no hold, no plots. There was a lot of like, quote, she said this, quote, she said that.
Facts, there was one quote in it.
Well, you said quote like 2 times. So I feel like, I don't know, I don't want to get hung up on the quote again, but I can't remember what you say when I have a quote, but it's like, it's an extra, like, it's a thought. Like,
it's always a point in my,
there, yeah. Like, it's always you put it there, or you put it in, wrote it into the story from research to catch us out. Okay. A lot more detail there at the end. You kind of, like, were giving the vibe that you knew how to explain about the arsenic, so I'm like, did you just know this or read it in like Wikipedia or other research?
Your source of information is Wikipedia.
What? Sometimes. Well, it's my brain. It's Wikipedia.
No, do you remember that video of Henry Cavill? And he's like, you're using Wikipedia as your source of information.
No.
I showed it to you, Lana, once. I actually wrote
you
this really specific.
Okay. Apologies. I'll watch it again. I'll refresh and then I'll edit myself back in saying yes.
Okay, I do. Except I'll be editing this. So.
You edit me back in saying
I will.
I do. Okay. This story, what is it? Oh, okay. Would you have done 2 myths in a row? Is that even a thing to consider? I don't know. I'm gonna say murder. Done. End of.
It is a murder.
Okay.
I only said one quote.
But I think you were like, she said this, quote.
Oh, yeah, I did say she admitted guilt. I did say she admitted guilt, but I think that was my only quote. I was having a thought the other day about this podcast, because I think it's, like, an interesting one, okay? Because I think this podcast will, like, always grow, because, like, we continuously will get better at writing the stories, but then we will continuously get better at guessing each other's habits and, like,
yes.
Thought processes.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it was interesting. I was like, I feel like it could still keep going as because it's like a cycle. Like, you know, I feel like at first I thought, like, does it just reach a point where it's like really obvious? But I don't think it does, because you get better at like thinking of details to include or details to not include, but then you also get better at thinking of them. Like, I feel like for sure if we listen back to a year ago, like, we would
we'd be like immediately
know which one.
That's so true.
Like, even the first, like, I don't know, 10, 15, which we thought at the time were really good. But I still think now we'd, like, guess it a lot faster.
Yeah. I'll have to listen back to
or guess
the
more
really
correct.
old
Yeah, I haven't listened back to, like, 6, 7, 8, those kind of ones. Because I remember at the time we thought they were really good, because we'd, like, really jumped from 1, 2, 3, 4, like, our first recording. But I wonder if they were just good at the time, or if we still think they were good.
I feel like they would just be a massive disparity between the murder and then the myth. Because, like, the murder would be, like, really detailed, and then the myth would
I'm just thinking that. Like, I remember you did 1 or 2 with, like, the soap and stuff like that. Like, and, like, you listed off these massive quotes. And, like, for sure now I would be like, who does she think she is? Like, that's for sure. But at the time I was like, I don't know her style. I don't know.
I don't know her.
Yeah.
No, I get that, yeah.
So, yeah. But yeah, it's a murder story. Considered to be maybe one of the first, like, solo female serial killers in America.
Oh, interesting.
But yeah, I thought it was kind of confusing that she was ruled not guilty, which made me think that maybe she was, like, genuine, but then, like, making mistakes and not doing good things. But I don't know.
Well, but it was only not guilty by reason of insanity.
Yeah.
So maybe she did do it, but, like, they were like, well, she did do it, but she's insane. Is that how that works?
It's still, like, is it not still, like is she not still thinking she's doing good? But it's, like, I don't know. Yeah, It depends. Like, I guess you could take that either way. Like, you could have motive, but you also mightn't have had motive. Like, if it was ruled not guilty. Do you know that kind of way?
Yeah. I mean, do you have motive if you just done it? Like, if you just, like, were injecting people, like, carelessly with, like, arsenic?
Yeah.
And you didn't really care for the consequences, is that motive or is that just recklessness? Like,
but it's also the fact that she thought that, like, maybe she's helping them. That's what I'm thinking. But I don't know.
I don't think that could be construed as motive then, because it's actually you're actually
that's
thinking.
what I'm saying. Is it, like, not motive? So maybe she did think it was okay what she was doing. I don't know. I guess we'll never know. There wasn't that much on the story.
It is true. The old ones are to watch. Okay.
We're wrapping it up there. Thanks for listening. Make sure to like and subscribe.
On this week's episode, I correctly guessed that Louise's story was in fact a murder.
Find us on all streaming platforms.
Join us next week for another thrilling adventure.
Remember, it's myth until proven murder. Slay.